Hi, everybody. Welcome to another Chats with Chaudhry. I hope you're safe and well. Today, I'm delighted to be joined by Monica Lomeli, who is the Principal Solutions Consultant at Aspen Technology. And today, we are going to be talking about maintenance in pharmaceutical manufacturing through digitalization. And the reason we're doing that is Monica is actually speaking on this very topic in a webinar with ISPE on December the 6th, entitled Making Maintenance a True Asset in Pharma Manufacturing Through Digitalization. So because of that, we thought we'd catch up and learn a bit more about that as a sort of preview to the webinar. So, Monica, it's lovely to see you. How are you?
Thank you. I'm very good. How are you?
I'm very good, although it is cloudy here in London. Hopefully it's sunny where you are today.
Not quite, because I'm in Liverpool, so that's northwest of England, so it's really cloudy as well.
All right. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. So, well, let's talk about maintenance in pharma manufacturing through digitalization. But before we do that, for people who are not familiar with Aspen Technology, could you give me a quick overview of the business and also a little bit about your own background?
Yes, of course. So AspenTech is an industrial software company with a history of innovating software solutions for 40 years now. And the objective of the solution is to address complex environments where it is critical to optimize the whole asset lifecycle. So from the very first design through operation and maintenance. And myself, I'm a Principal Solution Consultant, as you already said, at AspenTech. Covering prescriptive maintenance, simulation, and modeling solutions. And I'm a chemical engineer by training.
Brilliant. Right. Well, my first question is, obviously, digitalization is such a hot topic these days, particularly since the pandemic. From your perspective, what changes have you seen in the last few years in the adaptation of digitalization technologies in pharma?
Yeah, so precisely as you said, I think that the COVID pandemic increased even more the need of agility within the supply chain. And we saw how speed to the market remains a critical business challenge as we adapt to the new normal in the pharma value chain network. And I say network because we've learned how this transformation happened from a typical linear supply chain into a higher performing value chain network that considers both fluctuations in supply and demand. So with this in consideration, I think the most significant changes came from, first of all, the digitalization of traditionally paper-based processes, the need of actually embracing more and more cloud technology, and also the incorporation of artificial intelligence into software solutions.
Right. So what are the top 2 or 3 pharma business imperatives where digital solutions are providing clear benefits?
Sure. So I think we've seen a growth in general in the digital confidence and in a shift in market perceptions around anything dealing with digital transformation over the past couple of years or so. So I think the business imperatives are going to be revolving around boosting operational efficiency. So I'd say with this in mind, the implementation of continuous manufacturing is quite a prevalent trend, actually, as it requires smaller footprints compared to traditional batch manufacturing, for instance. And it's going to provide greater flexibility within different production lines. I think also there's an increasing trend in terms of advanced planning and scheduling. And finally, the implementation of predictive and prescriptive maintenance technology in commercial manufacturing. For the people that are not familiar with the term, really predictive maintenance is going to be a technology that uses machine learning algorithms to detect failure or anomaly patterns across equipment, so they can give earlier prediction to certain failures compared to traditional condition-based monitoring techniques, for example.
Right, sure. And hopefully extend the life of the equipment, obviously, because you get in earlier rather than waiting for it to fail, don't you?
Precisely, yeah.
So I know pharma companies have been digitalizing, easy for me to say, their maintenance protocols and records for some time. So how does predictive and prescriptive maintenance add value to this?
Yeah, so I think overall, the value is going to be related to a cost avoidance opportunity from different perspectives. So, firstly, it's going to be the avoidance of the unplanned downtime, which can be caused by an unanticipated equipment failure.
Sure.
So, predictive maintenance is going to allow the prediction of these equipment failures, as we mentioned already, and plan maintenance proactively to minimize any schedule disruptions. And as a result of this, of course, we're going to see an increase in production uptime by avoiding typical calendar-based maintenance strategies that probably are going to be disrupting this schedule area. And also, it's going to enable the user to understand how a piece of equipment will fail. So basically, it's going to tell us when and also how, providing information on the most significant variables that are going to be contributing to a particular failure. But I think also apart from this cost avoidance opportunity, we are seeing another key aspect, which is related to the sustainability trend. So these digital initiatives are going to be focusing on environmental performance as well. And the way that this technology is going to support this is by the mitigation of degrading equipment that is going to improve efficiency on energy and materials, and thereby the complete elimination of these waste associated to failed batches and avoidance of any environmental incidents that may occur from that potentially catastrophic failure.
Sure. I think the other one actually is that, through digitalization, you're going to get less people flying to maintain equipment and save on the carbon footprint, won't you? Because actually they have that information on site, so they can actually deal with it on site rather than having to have engineers flying from one continent to another to try and help them solve the problems.
Absolutely. These technologies come inherently with visualization capabilities as well that allow the flow of data more efficiently between different teams and so on. So you don't really need to be on site to actually be able to take a preventative action. So yes, that's something that is really, really cool.
Fantastic. Now, is there more than one way to tackle predictive maintenance?
Yes, actually. So what I have been speaking about really is data-driven prescriptive maintenance. So having these machine learning algorithms to do the failure detection in the different data streams. But there are other techniques that are going to focus on the first principles or engineering models, which are going to be requiring expert knowledge and the inherent engineering principles in a particular piece of equipment.
Right. So what are the pros and cons then with these different approaches?
Right. So I think one of the main benefits of the AI boosted prescriptive maintenance is scalability. So understanding scalability as the ability to transfer and scale this solution across a site or multiple sites, and allowing in this way to protect simultaneously entire sites via this technology, and also scale throughout similar pieces of equipment. I think also that it's really important to mention that this technology is typically agnostic to the equipment and the process. So this means that it's able to protect both static equipment like a heat exchanger, for example, a column, but also rotating equipment, which could be a pump or a compressor, and operating both a batch and continuous processes. In that way, you can basically blanket your entire plant with this predictive technology.
And are there any cons?
Well, I think people, it's going to be more like a cultural shift rather than a con. Is actually showing the value to people. And there might be this misconception that you need to be trained in data science to actually be able to use this solution. So I think rather than being a con, is more like overcoming this idea, this cultural idea about probably I need to be an expert in machine learning and algorithms. But the truth is that these solutions are designed to be used by the owners of the assets, and in the end of the day, they are the owners of the problems and the ones that can be solving them as well.
Right. And you mentioned the other approach. So are there any pros and cons to the other approach? I mean,
so they are limited to some pieces of equipment actually that have these first principle models or principles embedded in that. but we can say that it might be a limitation in terms of you might be dealing with equipment that do not have or cannot have first principle models embedded in that. So you've got a limitation in there. Whereas in the AI approach, you can just protect anything as long as you have instrumentation around the asset.
Right. Okay. So as I mentioned at the beginning, and you mentioned as well, that there is a webinar coming up with ISPE on December the 6th. So viewers, without going through the URL and going into lots of detail, we will put the link above the video so you can find out more about the actual webinar itself that Monica is actually leading, and actually register for it as well, because it is free. So Monica, all that's left for me to say is thank you very much for taking the time out to talk me through this topic. It's been really interesting to learn more and to meet you as well. So I wish you lots of success with the webinar.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, really looking forward to having you there and the audience. So thank you for your time.
Thank you for your time. And viewers, thank you for your time. And if you've got any questions actually for Monica, based on what we talked about today relating to predictive maintenance for pharma manufacturing, then feel free to put them in the comments below the video. I'm sure Monica will be only too delighted to see them and hear them and give you some feedback. And obviously, if you'd like to learn a lot more, then please click on the link above the video and register for the webinar. So Monica, thank you once again for your time. I hope the sun shines in Liverpool on the weekend and get some sun.
Thank you.
And viewers, thank you for watching. Until next time, stay well and stay safe. Bye-bye.